gentlemen, what the world's been waiting for, what the world needs now, the one, the only, amazing, original Johnny Blaze. Often imitated, but never duplicated. There's Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the amazing original Johnny Blaze Show. It's always great to be here as I blaze right in with my karate kick. Let's have a blazing hot fun time. I came from a very poor family. We couldn't afford to book a hotel room. Instead, my mother would park next to a dumpster and say, "Okay, everybody get in." A father took his son to his first football game, and on the drive home, the father asked, "Well, what did you think about the game?" And the son replied, "I can't understand why so many people would fight over 25 cents. The father was puzzled. "What do you mean?" he asked. Well, the boy answered, "All I heard was, get the quarterback, get the quarterback." A lawyer sat in his office with one of his clients, and the client asked, "Could you lend me $1?" "Certainly, I can lend you one for 75 cents. A worker asked his boss for a raise, and he said, "There are 3 companies interested in me right now." "Which companies are you talking about?" asked the boss. The worker replied, "Why, the electric company, the telephone company, and the gas company." We have a blazing hot fun show with a special guest. She's a multi-talented singer, songwriter, and all-around entertainer. Please give a big warm welcome and say hello to Olivia Millan. Olivia Millan, hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the amazing original Johnny Blaze Show. Good to see you.
Thank you. It's humbled to see you too as well.
You look nice. You got a beautiful smile. And you look like you're all ready to go. I'm glad that you showed up here.
Yep. Thank you.
My pleasure. Olivia, give me a rundown. Tell me about the Olivia Millan story. How did you get started in entertainment, and where are you from?
Yeah. So I'm from Sarasota, Florida. I've lived there. I was born and raised there. I've been since the age of 3 doing music. And I started off in a church choir, interestingly enough. And since I've been singing and doing musical theater, I won a award, the Broadway Stars of the Future Award, for Best Voice and Best Actress in the state of Florida in 2023. And then I started songwriting because I really kind of loved the idea of making my own music and making songs that what I wish I heard on the radio, I guess. And ever since, specifically with J-pop, I got more into Japanese culture around like the age of 7. And I really appreciated the culture, not just for its music, but that's how I was introduced to it. I really liked the traditional aspects, the rituals, the respect aspects, the whole bundle. Obviously it came slowly, bits by bits, that I learned over time, but I loved the Japanese culture, and I thought, what better way to do what I love than mixing both Japanese culture and songwriting. So I picked up Japanese in high school, and now I'm a Japanese major in college and writing J-pop music.
Beautiful. So you're combining your love for your songwriting and music with the Japanese culture.
Yeah.
Wow. And you did start very young, 3 years old. Wow. That's really young. Right. Now, have you, on your singing and songwriting now, did you take any lessons, or are you pretty much self-taught?
For singing, I've been classically trained since the age of like 6 or 7. And I, since I guess I've had many different vocal trainings techniques. I've had classical, Broadway, not very much pop actually, surprisingly enough. But I have had absolutely no songwriting teaching. So
So
that's,
songwriting, you're teaching yourself. It sounds like on songwriting, right?
yes.
Gotcha. But the vocal, you've had a lot of experience with teachings.
Yes, I also have a lot of music theory under my belt as well. I took AP music theory in high school. And I've studied a lot of music theory. I was actually born with perfect pitch. So I've tried to hone that skill as much as possible.
That's a special gift. Well, boy, that's wonderful. And
And
what kind of voice? Are you have a soprano voice or is it alto?
soprano, yeah. But I can switch to alto. I actually used to be praised by my teachers for knowing that I have a huge range. I can go decently low but really high. So I like to call myself a soprano because that's what I enjoy more. So
I see. You love the higher. You're able to hit the higher notes, and you love that aspect of it.
yeah, absolutely.
You have a lovely smile there too. It's great. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So tell me about on your performances now. Well, first of all, as far as music goes, what kind of music do you like? Is it rock? Is it pop? Is it country? Is it classical? Is it jazz? Is it rhythm and blues? I mean, what?
Yeah, I actually like most of what you just listed. I don't really think there's any music that I dislike. But what I listen to most often tends to be pop, I guess. I do like studying to jazz though. I've always loved studying the jazz. It's or lo-fi.
I see. Do you have any particular singers and songwriters who've inspired you, or you consider to be very inspirational hero types that you really
Absolutely.
look up to?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my biggest inspiration from the Western world is Lady Gaga. I just love her voice style, the style in which she presents herself, and especially the fact that she has gained insight against being bullied because that was a huge part of my childhood. I was bullied quite roughly as a kid. So the fact that she went through that and she was able to rise above it all was really inspiring to me. So I always really loved her music and I found it really inspiring and empowering. And from the Japanese side, I'd have to say some of my biggest inspirations are Yoasobi and Atarashi Gakko. Yoasobi because I love her style of making happy beats, but like sad, melancholy lyrics. It's such an interesting mix. And I love how she does that. And Atarashi Gakko because I love their sort of spunky, weird vibe that they give off. They're like, if you've never heard of them, they're like schoolgirls,
Hmm.
which is like their traditional vibe. But they really they put in a lot of weird themes in their videos, like fighting, like becoming like really big and like titanous and tearing down all of Tokyo and some other types of weird things like that. I find it really interesting.
That's great. So they really uplift you. It sounds like these people, they
Yeah,
inspire and uplift you. That's something
absolutely.
that, yeah, it's exciting for you. Great. It is really great. Now on your performances now, for music now, do you prefer the slower songs or ballads, or do you prefer the faster moving songs?
I have to say, when it comes to listening, I think it honestly depends on my mood, actually, because sometimes when I'm feeling more down or calm, I like ballads, but when I'm feeling, I guess, content to anywhere upbeat, I like pop, as many people would. But I'd have to say if I had to choose one in general, I'd probably pick upbeats, unless I'm singing it because ballads are typically easier to sing because that means I usually don't have to dance. Because with all my live performances, I dance while I sing. So I really sort of prefer just the singing sometimes because the dancing can make it very hard to breathe and I'm still learning that breath control and it's a it's a leveling thing. It'll level out, but I just am still learning. And as an artist who's still learning and growing, I can appreciate both aspects.
Well, you sound like you're very knowledgeable about your craft. And now, and that's great. If you're going to do something, you may as well do it with over 100% and truly love it with every fiber of your being, which I can tell it from talking to you that you do. On your performances now, let me ask you, do you do you have audience participation? And if so, how do you get the audience to participate?
Yes, I do actually. With my newest song, TTYL, I have the signals of TTYL, sort of like with arms and hands involvement. And that was just like a recent thing. I've never actually done it live yet. I will be doing it live on March 21st, Friday, at ZenkaiCon at Lancaster. And that is very exciting for me because that'll be the first time I perform TTYL live. TTYL is one of my favorites in terms of audience participation. Before I've had like chanting and minimal audience participation, but TTYL is more on the level of audience participation, I think.
Well, I know you came out with that song recently on Valentine's Day. I know from studying and reading about you, and so it's your most recent song. I'm curious, what does TTYL stand for? I have a feeling I think I know, but I want to get a review.
Yeah, absolutely. It stands for Talk to You Later.
Pardon me?
Talk to You Later.
That's what I thought. Talk to you later. Okay, great. So don't talk to you now. Talk to you later. That's cute.
Thank you.
Created an original song on that. That's phenomenal. I like that. Yeah. You had another song now, which is a music video. How did you create that? It's called Be With Me.
Mhm. Yeah, so that was created with Zane Productions. Zane Productions was a fantastic experience. I really enjoyed the whole process. It was seamless. It was fun. It was basically everything I could ask for with a music video experience. And I really just had a fun time in general doing it. There was a lot of people, a lot of extras, a lot of actors, a lot of cameramen. It was, at first, I found it a little overwhelming because I'd never done a music video before then. But yes, that was my first ever music video.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
You look like you're having fun in that music video, and you look like you're very experienced, even though it's the first time. That's what you're telling me.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't have much experience at all, so I was worried at first that it would come across that way.
Oh.
But I'm glad that it came across well and that I was able to perform alongside my peers.
Yeah, I like that. I really like it. I can see it's uplifting, it's inspirational, it's fun. You're having a great time with it. You're doing your kicks and you're jumping around and you're singing and you're giving it your all. And then there's an audience that seems to be really appreciating what you're doing. They're giving a lot of great feedback and really getting into it. So
yeah, I genuinely really enjoyed it a lot. It was such a fun experience and everyone was so talented. I at first I was so fearful because I was worried that I wouldn't be able to match up with all the actors' talent. And I'm glad that it came across well and that I was able to perform along with them and that everyone was so wonderfully nice. It was just a fantastic experience.
what a great positive experience. That's something to be happy and proud about. It really is. Very good. Yeah, I like that. And now, some other things. Let's see now. Do you prefer cover songs or original songs?
I definitely prefer original songs over cover songs. There's nothing wrong with cover songs, and sometimes I really like them. But it seems to me that right now in this industry, especially for American pop music, the industry is a bit oversaturated, and it's really hard to stick out with a certain song. So for me, I sort of see songwriting as a challenge to sort of see how much I can push the bill and stick out with, as well as maintaining, that classic rhythm and formula that everybody likes.
So you prefer originals, but yet you'll do covers, right?
Yes.
Of course. And that way you have variety. You're not just sticking to one thing. You're able to do different things. That's great.
Yeah.
That is real good. Now, have you ever had any performance? What sounded like from what you told me you did have, in performance anxiety in some of your performances, besides the one you just told me about, the music video, but in general?
Yeah, I've actually struggled with performance anxiety for most of my life, and it still hasn't gone away entirely. I still get a little nervous before interviews, and I still get really nervous when I'm going up on stage. But it's all worth it in the end. It's a good kind of nervous for me. It's not necessarily that nervous of anxiety, it's more excitement.
So how do you handle that? I mean, you're able to get through it, obviously, from what you're telling me, although it's difficult, but how are you able to handle that and to make sure that it doesn't control you? You control it, even though there is some performance anxiety.
Yeah, I just think I just honestly think to myself, keep going. Because even though I might think, oh, why did I decide to do this? There's so many people here, it's all worth it in the end. And I keep reminding myself, hey, this is going to be worth it when you hear that applause at the end. And when you hear that people enjoy your music, and when you hear that people can relate to I really enjoy the fact that people can really relate to what I do and relate to the fact that I may have an impact on them. The fact that I may have an impact really means a lot to me. And I feel like that's where I really help others, if that makes sense.
So what you're saying is, even though you experience the performance anxiety, you try to act like it as if it doesn't happen. I guess you get so wrapped up into what you're doing and the kind of positive feedback you could get that apparently you're able to work through any performance anxieties you do have, any issues, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. What about now? Okay, in life there's a lot of rejection, especially in entertainment. So how do you deal with and handle rejection?
Yeah, rejection honestly for me came through time, because once I realized rejection was going to be a very big thing in the music industry, I kind of got used to it, and I kind of got used to like not letting my guard down, and sort of not keeping my hopes up for every single little thing. Because yeah, I can hope a little bit, but I shouldn't ride everything that I have on this one opportunity. And I feel like it really resides on the fact that other people really think a lot about you, right? It's At the end of the day, it's really what other people think of you. At least that's what I thought before I handled all of this rejection. And once I started getting rejected, from my a cappella groups at college, I got rejected from every single one. And that was actually what catapulted me to start songwriting again. Because I started songwriting in high school, but I stopped because of fear of rejection.
Mm.
And then it was that fear of rejection that actually catapulted me to start writing again.
So you may have got down, but it's not how far you go down, right? It's how you go and rise right back up and come back. That's what counts,
Yeah,
right? Instead of letting
absolutely.
rejection get to the best of you where it immobilizes you, you're thinking, what else can I do? And how can I overcome all this? And that's what you're doing. So that's when you got into songwriting. That's what you told me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that motivates you, right? If somebody says no, you can say, well, I don't say no. I say yes. I'm going to prove them wrong, right? And you're going to do what you know.
Absolutely. Yes, the whole prove them wrong thing, that's definitely something
Right.
that
Some
I've gone
people,
through.
artists, people have to go through a lot sometimes before they do it. Some people I've interviewed, though, have told me they were fortunate. They didn't have to do an audition or try out for anything. So what about you? Did you have to audition or try out for any roles at all?
Absolutely. Like everything in life, for theater at least, and more than just that. I actually auditioned for America's Got Talent when I was like 13.
You did? You
Um,
tried for America's Got Talent, really? Okay.
I didn't actually make it onto TV. I went just basically to the screening, and I got rejected.
That's,
Uh, so the rejection started there and long before that, but
mm.
I didn't really get used to it until years and years of it happening. Even still, rejection still does take a toll on, I feel like, everybody. I think it's a
Of
genuine
course. Now, you say you
feel.
reject from America's Got Talent. Did they notify you that they were rejecting you, or did they just ignored you when after you had your audition? How did it work?
Yeah, it was just if they answered us, then we got in. If they didn't, we didn't.
I understand. I had the same experience. But
Really? What was
if
your experience?
America's Got Talent, the Pasadena Convention Center, spent what, about 4 or 5.5 hours there. They asked me to sing a cappella a song. I sang My Way, of course, and I had the words down really great. But and I had a CD, a backup, but they said if you get in the next round, that you could use that, but they didn't want it. You just wanted to sing a cappella. Well, I never heard from them again. So the thing is, just because you don't hear or you're rejected doesn't mean you don't have talent. It just means your particular talent is not what they wanted. But if one door closes, another door could very well open.
That's very true. That's extremely true, and I've never heard more truer words spoken that relate to exactly what I was trying to say than that.
Right. So you got to shake yourself up and just get right back out and go out there, because once you give up, you're finished. That's for sure. And if you keep
Absolutely.
trying, you never know. Like Tom Hanks said in Forrest Gump, um, where's that? Remember that in the movie? What about? There's always something. Something could be sweet and everything. You're looking for something sweet. You never know what can happen in life, and hopefully it's something sweet. Remember?
I think so. I think so. I've seen a little bit of that movie, not the entire thing actually.
Right. Oh yeah. So you don't give up. You just hang in there. You might just something good might happen. Yeah, that's correct. That was a great movie. Anyway, on your performances now, do you prefer the larger crowds or smaller crowds, or does it make a difference? And what's your largest crowd and what's been your smallest crowd?
For me, I mean, the larger crowds are a lot more adrenaline provoking, but I really don't it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest, because who I'm performing for, I perform to people like I'm performing to individuals. I don't like to perform as if I'm performing for the masses. I like to perform as if I'm performing for one person individually, and there just happens to be many of them. Uh, because of that, I really feel a stronger connection to my fans, and I love to be able to, like I said before, I love to be able to have an impact on them and have them relate to my music. That really just strikes joy in me. And the fact that maybe I can do something to, help them is really inspiring to me, and I feel like to them as well. But getting back to your question, I for that reason I say it wouldn't really matter to me, because small crowds and large crowds, they're both going to be individual people, right?
Right. Well, in a small crowd, you can probably get to talk to them more. It's probably more personal than a real large crowd, right?
I mean, it depends. I mean, there's a lot of personal things that large crowds have that small don't, like being able to do certain things, like, I guess, the gestures of TTYL, for example. It would probably be more connecting to one another for other people to do that in a large crowd than a smaller crowd, because other people may feel like it's anxiety provoking. They may not want to do it. And I completely understand that. But, with a bigger crowd, maybe it would be easier for that. And then there's more reasons than just that, but that's
So
probably one.
what are you saying in a sense that you prefer larger over smaller, or you like them about equally? What are you exactly trying to tell me?
Equally, equally.
Oh, equally. I got you. Well, the quote I was trying to think of it, the Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, is life is like a box of chocolates. You never quite know just what you're going to get, and hopefully it's something sweet. Remember that.
Yeah.
That was the quote. That was it. Okay. I didn't say it quite right. I said something sweet, but that's exactly it. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think, yeah, I understood your message.
Okay. But now I got it now. Okay. Got it. And now, on your shows now, do you You do you sign autographs, do meet and greets, and also take photos. Have people take photos of you and everything, photo shoots.
I actually haven't gotten to do that yet. I At my next performance, I plan to do some of that along with merch selling. But so far, I haven't had the chance to do any of that. Really, I haven't had the chance to do a lot of shows in general. I've been doing a lot of street performances.
Oh,
Um, but I did perform at ZenkaiCon again last year. And other than that, I've never really performed live in a professional setting.
oh,
So
really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's it's been, it's been alarming and amazing having my music come up to the top of the charts in the UK and having an interview with Billboard. And it's been such a fun and wonderful experience with how much growth is happening in the short amount of time. But in some ways, I do feel like, there's so much to improve on for me. So yeah, I have yet to do that.
Well, I'm sure even though you haven't, that's something that you can look forward to. I'm sure that that's something that'll probably happen. Then you'll probably be
Yeah,
able to progress to that, right?
yeah, absolutely. I really hope so.
And I have a feeling you really love doing that too. Meet and greet, signing autographs, taking photos. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love doing things for my fans.
You're a people person, I could tell. And
Absolutely.
what is there now? What is there about singing and songwriting that you really like? What is there about it that really excites you and gets you going? Your juices going, creative juices going.
I'd say first and foremost, it's the melody above everything. It might be the perfect pitch in me, but I'm really a stickler for those melodies and harmonies when it comes to the actual music part of it. And I really enjoy the whole music making.
So you probably feed off your audience, right? The reaction of the audience. It probably gives you a high to see what kind of effect you can have upon audiences, right?
You could say that, yeah.
Okay. Now, are you a solo artist, or do you have a band, or have you ever had one, or are you going to have one? I don't know. Are you solo, pretty much?
I I definitely am solo. I would be definitely open to collabing with people. But as far as being in a permanent group or band, I'm not really that kind of person. I've always been told that in chorus and in theater that I just stick out too much. And
Oh,
it took some time to realize that maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not a bad thing. And maybe I should just go along with my own wave and see where it takes me.
I see. Okay, so you don't have a band, you're solo. Okay. And are you open? You're open to collaborating with somebody, even though I don't know if you ever have, or if you haven't, are you open to collaborate with somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always open to collaborating with people.
I see. And is there anybody you'd like to open up for? Any particular group or performer?
Ah, I'd really like to open up for Blackpink. They're doing a world tour, and I would love to open up for Blackpink. That would be my absolute dream if I had to choose one group.
I see. Now, tell me about your traveling experience at your venue and your favorite venue and all the travels experience that you've had in your entertainment career. Where have you gone? What are your favorite venues?
Yeah. So I went to Japan in my high school graduation year of 2023.
Hmm.
And although that was before I actually wrote J-pop, I learned so much by going there. I learned more about the culture. I learned so much about, just how people treat each other in general, and obviously the language. And I was probably half as conversational as I am now, so I can't wait to go back. But I'm really more excited on my future performing opportunities in Japan in the year 2026 of spring. So I will, like, 99% be performing in Japan then if I can get my entertainment visa.
Okay, so Japan, that's where your experience is, and that's your favorite outcome. And what about touring? Have you done any touring at all? Or
No, not yet.
okay, that's something also to look forward to, right? Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, you have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah,
Touring, doing photo ops, doing meet and greets, signing autographs. That's great. And that's probably going to happen. Why not?
I hope so. Yeah.
Right. So you entered America's I Got You. Are there any other talent shows that you entered at all in your life besides
I've
America's Got
tried
Talent?
for The Voice as well.
The Voice?
Uh,
Yeah, how was
yeah,
that experience?
yeah. I again, I didn't get past the screening,
Oh,
but it may have been at the time. I also was only 13, so my voice wasn't nearly as matured as now that I'm 20.
okay.
But I learned a lot more through age, and I feel like there was definitely a lot I could have known even then. I mean, I've been classically trained, but even then, I feel like there's a lot I could have done better with my voice, at least. And I feel like if I song wrote starting way back then I feel like it would have been, I guess, easier for me
Oh,
in the long
okay.
run.
Wow. Well, you have some great things. There's an old saying. You remember Ricky Nelson wrote the song "The Garden Party," where they were going to throw rotten eggs at him because he wasn't singing his earlier songs. So he came up with the song "Garden Party." You can't please everybody, please yourself, and it's right. It's impossible to please everybody. So you do please yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have hobbies, and whenever I'm not writing music, I do things in school, which is Japanese. I'm a Japanese major, and I have a lot of fun with that. I have a lot of friends, and
What other
I'm
hobbies and what other jobs before you got into entertainment and singing and performing did you have? Have you done?
yeah. So before I wanted to be a J-pop artist, I actually wanted to go into either international business, or when I was really young, I wanted to actually go into marine biology.
Really? Okay.
Which is a very interesting thing considering that I don't really consider myself a science person anymore. I don't know what happened, but I just don't really consider myself a science person. I mean,
Well,
kudos to everyone who can do it. I don't feel like I'm able to.
don't. Okay. Any particular jobs that you did before getting into all this? Which I assume that this is your way of making a living right now. You're making a living in entertainment.
Sort of, yeah. Before I did this, to answer your question, I worked at an arcade. Um,
What? What was that?
I worked at an arcade.
An art?
An arcade.
Oh, an arcade. Okay, arcade.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It was called Arcade Monsters. It was in Florida.
Oh,
Um, it was one of the most fun first jobs I could have asked for.
oh.
I got to dress up in all these fun colors and everything. It was really fun. And that was
What were you doing exactly in the art? You're dressing up. Are you being different characters or something? Exactly. What are you doing exactly in there?
yeah, we would have to dress up in neon colors. So that was one of the things that really sparked my love for fashion.
Oh,
And I sort of found myself loving Harajuku fashion at the time. And I still do to this day. I still wear a lot of Harajuku fashion inspired things. Um, and that was kind of what introduced it because there was a lot of uh we had a lot of freedom to dress however we wanted to our jobs and to look fun and happy for the arcade. And they were very uplifting about how we dressed, and it was a very good experience.
so you're dressing in different costumes. And what is exactly your job? Are you acting like a different character to entertain people coming into the
Oh,
arcade? Or
gotcha. No, not necessarily. I was actually a bartender.
oh, oh, I see. Okay. And how
Yeah.
was that? Did you enjoy the bartending?
It was extremely cool. Yeah.
You know, the mix of drinks, talk to the people,
Yeah.
meet people. Oh yeah, that's a challenge in itself, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. It was hard to learn it all at first, especially considering I couldn't drink alcohol because
Oh,
but in the state of Florida you're allowed to handle it. You just can't drink it. It's
I see.
it's it's wonky laws, but
I see.
you know,
And you're in Pennsylvania now, right?
yes, I go to Villanova.
Okay, great. So you're from Florida to Pennsylvania now. Okay. Yeah, I've talked to
Yeah.
different people. different people in Pennsylvania. I think my last interview, I think she was from Pennsylvania. Miss Freddie. I don't know if you know her.
I don't think I do. I'll have to look her up.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll give a shout out to Michael Stover. Michael Stover, he's in charge of musical management company and everything, and music and his own record company, and he's a great guy. And he's the one that, because of him, I was able to he made this interview possible for me with you. So I'm giving a shout out to him. And how did you meet Michael Stover?
Actually, I don't exactly know. My mom found him. My mom has been super supportive of my career, and I really can't thank her enough for that. She's really helped me find the people who I need to find.
Really?
And she's obviously, like, I guess, been there for me through thick and thin because she's my mom. So
That's fantastic. Is your mom involved in the entertainment business at all?
sort of. She is my unofficial manager.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sort of. At least that's what I like to call her. She helps me out with everything that Michael. She basically helps with Michael and does a lot of stuff that I can't even think that I could do.
Is that how you met Michael, through your mother?
Yes, yes. She set up the whole connection.
We got a great mother. Sounds like
Yeah,
she loves you, and she also does everything she can to help you in your career. That's
yeah.
great.
She's pretty great.
So you have a lot to be thankful for there, Olivia. Okay.
Absolutely.
I saw just met recently. I was in karaoke. There was a girl I was promoting myself, and it turned out her name was your name, Olivia. So I told her, I said, "Well, I'm going to be on my next show. I'm going to be interviewing Olivia."
That's funny.
That's a pretty name. Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, you remember Olivia Newton-John. She was a big success in the business.
Yeah.
What do you think of her?
I love her. I watched her movies growing up, Grease specifically.
Right.
I think she's a great voice. I really enjoy her music.
She was beautiful, very talented. How about
Very,
Taylor Swift? What do you think of her?
I like Taylor Swift. I loved her Red and Reputation album specifically.
She is extremely attractive and very talented, and very
Yeah.
giving too. She gives out to charities, money and everything.
I have heard about that. Yeah.
Phenomenal. How about you? Do you work with any? Have you worked with any charities at all? Yeah, or if you haven't,
I
or going
haven't
to?
worked I haven't worked necessarily with charities, but I've worked with other community service places.
Other
I
what?
volunteered at I've worked with other community service places.
Oh,
Um,
community places. Okay.
yeah, I've worked at an old folks home. I worked at a like serving soup to homeless people. I've done stuff with my church and homeless people before, like making little kits for them and going out to the streets to deliver them to people. Um, and a lot of things along those lines.
Well, you're giving of yourself, and it's great. You're giving of your time, and you're trying to help other people that need some of these services, right?
Of course, yeah. As I would like to do more community service as well. If I do end up getting bigger, I would love to really stick myself in the heart of something that's really people that really need my help. Like maybe Make-A-Wish kids or something like that. I have done stuff with that before.
Hmm.
And I would love to do stuff like that again.
That's something also to look forward to. It's something that would be a very rewarding experience. That's something you really love. I have a feeling when you do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe you will do it because you have that kind of personality. Your smile and your personality, and you like to help people,
I do. I love to help people.
and then that gives you a great feeling back too. It works both ways, right? Okay,
Of course. Of course.
that's fantastic. When you help other people, you help yourself, right? It's
Yeah,
positive.
absolutely.
It's like catharsis. What goes around comes around. Positive karma, right? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's what's great about entertainment because you're doing something you really truly love. You're not forcing yourself. You put your mind, body, heart, and soul into it, and you get such a positive, enthusiastic feedback on everything. So talk to me about your songwriting now. You taught yourself, right? You didn't take any lessons on that. And on your songwriting, when you write a song, is it words or is it music first or vice versa?
Yeah, so I start music first. Um, one second. Hi, sorry about that. I just people in my hallway.
Oh,
I live in a dorm. That's all.
oh, okay.
What was the question again? Sorry.
On your songwriting, is it music first or words first? And also, how do you write a song? And is it through your experiences? Tell me about your techniques for songwriting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I start music first, almost always.
Okay.
Lyrics first have always kind of bamboozled me. Uh, I mean, I can do it. It's just not my preferred way of doing it. Um, so I usually start music first, and then when I find a melody, I kind of figure out what the melody's feeling, what the tone is. Once I figure out like sort of what I want to write about, it usually evolves from my own experience.
Mm.
Um, because that's what's easiest to write about for me. Now, I have done stuff that's not on my own experiences. For example, my next album coming up, which is already pretty much written, is called War of AI, and that's the title of the song is probably what you can guess.
War of AI sounds like War of Artificial Intelligence. Is that what that is?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. I know there's a lot of artificial intelligence around.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's an original album, an original creation of yours, right?
Yeah.
Great, yeah, great. Probably have quite a few songs. How many singles and albums would you say you produced so far in your career as an
Um,
artist?
wow, that's a tough question. I'd have to say, I mean, I've been producing songs on a fly. It's almost every day that I've been producing.
Hmm.
Um, so I can't really say how many songs there will be to come and how many albums will be to come, but as far as there have been for the past, I definitely was a lot slower back then before I knew what I know now about songwriting.
Wow. So I guess you don't know, you're not sure exactly. I mean, you've done quite a few probably, but you don't know exactly how many.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll produce more, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You take pride in what you're doing. No, it takes a special talent to do that. It's not easy to put the words to music and music to words and then to perform it. Wow. Not just anybody can do. Talk to me about now you won awards you told me about. Talk to me about any music festivals or contests that you've entered and any awards that you have won. I think you told me you won some awards.
Yeah, so I've actually just applied for the Red Carpet Awards. And as well as that, I have gotten the top of the charts, #1 in the UK twice. One with my single Broken Piece of Joy, and then the other one with T2IL. Both lasted about a week, 3 days to a week, I'd say. Um, and I just did a interview with Billboard Japan, so that'll also be out soon.
Wow. So you won some for an award and you won for original song. Wow.
Yeah. I also got #1 on the most added list on the Hot 100 national radio hits.
Wow. That's interesting. That's great. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And by the way, now, as far as your performances, tell me about your any television, radio, podcasts that you've done, or also you mentioned some theater work. Tell me about all your experiences and what are the ones that are favorite ones and ones that stand out.
Yeah, absolutely. So my favorite theater work that I've done that stands out the most to me is Into the Woods. I played the witch. It was actually that was the role that got me the Broadway Stars of the Future award.
Did you say you
And
played the witch in a
yeah,
theatrical?
a witch and Into the Woods.
Witch and an angel? Oh wow!
Witch in the witch from Into the Woods.
Oh, from Angel in the Woods, the witch from Angel in the Woods. Okay, okay. You didn't play an angel. You played a witch from Angel in the Woods. Okay.
No, a witch from Into the Woods.
From what?
Sorry. Into the Woods, like INTO, Into the Woods.
Which from Into the Woods?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but you didn't play an angel. You are an angel, but you didn't play an angel.
Thank you. But no, I did not play an angel.
No, it doesn't mean you're not. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a thumbs up. That's fantastic. All right, a little play on words. Why not?
Yeah.
And we're having fun. We're having fun with this, right? Okay. What is it? What is a typical day now as a singer and songwriter?
Um, well, I usually wake up and go to class, first of all. And then I usually have dance lessons once or twice a week, for several of my songs. Now I'm working on TTYL specifically because I have my upcoming performance March 21st. And I after that usually go home, do some homework, and then do some songwriting at night because that's somehow when I feel the most motivated to songwrite. And then I just go to bed and rinse and repeat.
Well, you're a busy lady, young lady. Never a dull
Yeah.
moment, right? Yeah.
Never a dull moment. Actually, tonight I was just at a Philly Fashion Week. So that was exciting.
You were at Fashion Week.
Yeah, it was at
What,
Philly Fashion Week. It was very exciting.
what is that? What is Philly Fashion Week?
Philly Fashion Week is like, I don't know if you've ever heard of New York Fashion Week.
New York. Okay, Fashion Week.
It's like New York Fashion Week, except it's in Philly. So basically they have fashion shows, they invite influencers,
Oh,
and they do a lot of it's sort of like a dress up event where you dress up in a formal event
oh.
and do interviews with people, a lot of networking. It's very, very fun.
So it's almost like a fashion show type of thing where you can meet people that are modeling and fashion and personalities and celebrities. Wow.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like fun. What up? And by the way, have you ever met or worked with any celebrities too in your life and in your career?
I've met Pitbull. Never worked with him. I've never worked with any celebrities either. It's always just been solo for me.
I see. Okay. Well, every situation is different. That's for sure. Every interview is different. Not everybody's the same, and that's what makes it so interesting. Of course. All right. Wow. On your now that music, the first music video that you did, are you the one that created the music, or was somebody else that created the music video?
I was the one who created the music. I directed the storyline for the music video, and I wrote the music, sang the music, except for the backing track, which was the rough mix was produced by me, but then I gave the rough mix over to a producer. My producer's name is Kevin Charge, and he basically created this awesome masterpiece and gave it back to me. So
Wow. That sounds like a very fun and rewarding experience. And you've never done it, but yet you were able to do it like a pro. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, I can see it when I saw the excitement of it. Listened to it and saw it. Great. Fantastic. Well, Olivia, uh, you've had quite a life, quite a very interesting career.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
Okay. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a show where you tried hard to make it work, and it's called Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it can and it will. But for some reason, it did not work out so well. Have you ever had an experience like that?
Course, I've had so many shows like that. Not necessarily my original music, but for Into the Woods, actually, when I was the witch, we performed like 3 or 4 shows, and for one of them, I actually completely didn't come in when I was supposed to, and it caused problems for like everybody. So that was one of the things that happened. But as far as my own music goes, I've had street performances, and there have been like no people showing up to them,
Oh,
which
wow.
have has been a little disappointing, but it is what it is. And then also I've had like technical issues and stuff like that. It's there's a whole slew of issues that can happen when a show goes wrong, but the best thing that you can do is just keep going.
Okay, so you ever had a time where you forgot the words of a song, or a guitar string broke? And if so, how'd you deal with it? How'd you handle that?
Yeah, I definitely have forgotten the words of a song before. And my best advice is to just keep going. No matter how much you mess up, it's more noticeable when you stop.
I see. And do you have any advice for aspiring people who want to be singers and songwriters? Advice? What do you think that they should do to
Abs-
become successful?
yeah, absolutely. I'd say if you think you've got it, then don't let anyone else tell you differently. If you think you have what it takes, obviously do your research and everything before entering this industry, because it's a very overpowering and demeaning industry at times, but also at times it can be very rewarding. So it's like a roller coaster, and I feel like people have to be ready for that. So really make sure to be ready for rejection and know who you're talking to, because there's a lot of people in this industry who will just take you for not what you're worth and try to make money out of you. And it's evil almost. There's people that really want to take advantage of artists like that. But you just have to keep your eyes out, keep your ears up, and keep your circle small. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't, because you're going to be the one that ultimately proves them wrong.
It's like the song in Jefferson Starship. Nothing's going to stop us now, right? Remember that?
Yeah. There's this one Lady Gaga quote that I really, really like. And that is, there can be 100 people in a room, and 99 of those people will think that you won't make it, but one of those people will. And that one person will be the one that makes your entire life.
One
I love
understands she went through a lot of rejection herself, Lady Gaga, but look how she came out. She came out very successful.
Absolutely. It's very inspiring. Yeah.
Remember, The Star Is Born, the remake of the original one with Barbara Streisand and everything, right? And she did that. Remember with Bradley Cooper, the duet "Shallow." That was phenomenal. Boy,
Yeah. It was phenomenal.
yeah. And that's the way she is. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
it's a special talent, a special personality. Yeah, you're right. It takes a thick skin. It takes a lot of you have the big shoulders and be able to not let it get the best of you.
Absolutely.
I got you. Well, let me ask you something, Olivia. If you had to do anything over again in your life and your career, would you do anything differently?
No, because I believe that everything that I've done has led me to this moment, and I wouldn't do anything differently. Everything that I've done, every failure that I've had, I've learned from. And I think that people should stop really focusing on how failures define their life, because at the end of the day, it's all a learning curve.
Right. Got you. What's been your most challenging show and performance that you ever had in your life?
My most challenging performance, probably, probably my first ever stage, like my first ever, I guess, mini concert that I had when I was like a year ago, when I had some of my music out and I was performing on the street. I performed a set list of like all my songs and danced to all of them back to back with no training. And that was probably the hardest thing I've done.
Wow, you overcame all those doubts and fears,
Yeah.
and you did it. So that's something to be proud of. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right. How do you handle deadlines now? Have you ever handled?
Oh, I'm actually, when it comes to deadlines, I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist. This isn't exactly healthy, but I try to meet them at all costs. Um, so when it comes to having deadlines for songs or for something like that, like music related, I'm usually fine because I have that stuff figured out way beforehand. I
Hmm.
tend to be, now at least, I tend to be a lot more of a fast writer than I was before. Um, so I'm not really worried about deadlines for songs. When it comes to interviews, like written interviews, those are the ones that are harder to do for me because I'm a student and I have a lot to do. But sometimes I have to sacrifice schoolwork for my career, and sometimes I have to sacrifice my career for schoolwork. So it goes both
So,
ways.
okay, so you did some theater, but what about on anything on TV or radio or podcasts? Did you ever do any of those shows at all?
I've never done anything on TV. I've done a lot of radio interviews, and I've done a lot of podcasts as well. I've done my first podcast, I believe, was the Morgan Kia Hill Show.
It was what? I didn't hear that.
I believe it was the Morgan Kia Hill Show. It was
Oh,
on Spotify. It's Spotify podcast.
and you really liked that? Was that a very rewarding experience? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was a very rewarding experience. And there have been some moments in interviews that have been uncomfortable, but one of those notably being when I was in an interview with someone and they asked me, how do you feel about Japan and pedophiliality? And I was like, whoa.
Japan and spirituality, is that what you said?
No, like pedophilia.
Pedophilia? Well, that's
Yeah,
inappropriate. That's very
I know.
inappropriate.
I know it was the most uncomfortable question to ask in an interview, and I don't know why they would ask that, but
Yeah, they should
they
never have asked that. Yeah.
yeah, it was a very interesting interview. The whole interview was very awkward and hard to mesh with because it was essentially I felt being made fun of almost.
They shouldn't have
And
done that. That's inappropriate. It's offensive and inappropriate. Yeah.
yeah, I found it was hard for me to really describe it at the time, but now that I've had time to think about it, it was really offensive to not only me but the entire Japanese culture that even though I am not part of Japanese culture, I did feel offended for them.
Well, hopefully you were able to stand up to this person and tell them how wrong they were.
I mean, I just kind of laughed it off and
Oh, you did?
uh,
Okay. Okay.
I just kind of laughed it off and went on with the day. At the end of the day, sometimes it's best not to give these things certain attentions because sometimes it just makes it worse.
Well, you're right, because if a person thinks that they get the best of you, they'll just do it more and more. So it's best to
Exactly.
you're right, just make it like a joke and act like it's nothing, like it's not
Yeah,
important. Just
exactly.
move right on. Oh yeah. I've known there's some people like that. If they get too angry, and then they wonder why they get, people end up doing it more and more and embarrassing and putting them down more because they got the best. They got too angry. They have to just joke about it and act like it didn't happen, and then make a joke, and then that's the way it will become. But if you get
Yeah.
too upset, you're right, then they'll just keep on doing it. So
Yeah, I mean, I know that more than a lot of people that I know because I've been through that exact same thing. I've been bullied for most of my childhood and
I
high
see.
school life, so I figured that out pretty fast when it came. Well, actually, I didn't. That's a lie. I didn't figure it out fast.
Mm.
I figured it out fast, but I didn't actually put the pieces together until one day. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. Maybe not
Yeah.
right away it didn't dawn on you, but later on you realize that that's what you have to do.
It's like all of a sudden it just dawned on me, like, oh, maybe the fact that I'm giving it attention isn't helping.
Oh yeah, yeah. A friend of mine told me about a relative that we'll have to discuss that. I don't know if we can discuss it here, but they got really angry, and of course their college years were messed up. She blames him for her years being ruined when it was really her fault because she got too angry about it, the
Well,
situation.
I also don't blame anyone for really getting angry because there's also a natural cause to be angry. I understand completely why you would feel that way. So
Right.
I don't blame anyone like that, but it's sometimes it can be really hard to accept the fact that people are just mean and
You're right. You're right. They can be mean. You can be bullied in school and this and that. But you have to just try to let it go in one ear and out the other. Just try to act like it's not a big thing. It's easier said than done sometimes, but that's what you got to do.
that's
That
that's my biggest piece of advice for anyone who's
and that
going
takes
through.
away their power because if they think they're getting the best of you, you're right. They're going to do it more and more. So it's too bad that they're that way, but that's what you have to have. You have to handle it. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
I agree with you. Now, do you have any present, Olivia? Do you have any present projects right now that you're working on?
Yes, I do. I have the album that I was talking to you about before. I have several singles on the way. I have the album that is dropping on February 28th called Start Again, which is a compilation of all the songs I've released plus some new ones. And then I have my show at Zenkai Con on the 21st of March. Other than that, I have a music video coming out for TTYL in May.
Phenomenal. Well, congratulations. That's you have a lot to look forward to. You really do. And you've
Yeah,
earned it. Whatever you have, any shows that you have, whatever you're doing, you certainly earn the right to enjoy it and to go
thank you.
for it. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So those are present projects. Okay. Do you have any, Olivia? Do you have any future dream projects that you haven't done yet, but you might consider doing in the future that you're looking forward
Yeah,
to?
probably some collaborations in the future. I would love to collab with another artist that I've been talking to. I won't release their name because it may be a surprise.
Who is
Uh,
that now?
I
That artist?
I would not like to release their name because I like to keep it up to surprise.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
You don't want to spoiler alert there on that. Okay.
exactly. I like keeping most things about the future a surprise just to keep everybody on their toes.
Well, that's true. That's true. People then want to know more about it, but and they're more curious about it. But you don't want to give everything away, right? You want to just always
Exactly.
something to be surprised about and to look forward to. Okay, great. I understand.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, if people do want to find out more about you, Olivia, tell me about the links: entertainment website, Facebook page, YouTube channel, Spotify, LinkedIn, um, imdb.com page, any of the links that people can find out more about you.
Of course, of course. I have a website. It's oliviamillan.com. That's Millin for my last name. My Instagram, I post a lot on. My at is at Olivia with two A's, Millan with two N's. And my TikTok is at That's Me, Olivia Millan. Um, and my YouTube is Olivia Millan. And you can listen to my music on Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube, whatever you use. It's probably on there. Um, even the not so heard of ones. So just look up my name.
So people shouldn't have any problem. You're all over the place um, promoting yourself, so people shouldn't have any problem finding you.
Most likely, yes.
Okay. Now we're talking about positive thinking is important. I will say, I always said there's a philosophical thing. You probably agree with me. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Right?
Yes.
And here's an original poem I created a long time ago. I'll share that with you. Positive thoughts make you rot. Positive thoughts make you hot. Negative thoughts make you rot. So be hot. Don't rot, or else you'll go to pot, and you'll lose a lot, and you won't be a big shot. I
I like
wrote
that
that.
quote. It's funny.
I wrote that a long time ago. It's almost like as a man or woman believeth, right? What the
Yeah.
mind what the mind can believe, the mind can achieve, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to get older and say, I wanted to have and do all those things. I never did. You want to do it when you're healthy, when you're able to.
Yeah.
Go for your dreams, take your vacations. You don't want to have any regrets, right?
Yeah, absolutely not.
So, when it's over, you can't say, well, God, please give me more time. When your time is up, that's it. So no regrets, have a full life and go for vacations and dreams and do all the good things. That way you can say you had a full life. You did it your way, you had a full life, right? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Well, you're doing the right thing. I will say you have had and continue to have, Olivia Millan, a very exciting and entertaining and inspirational life. Keep going forward, keep going, blazing those trails and going for your dreams. Now we're gonna do something I think you're gonna find very exciting for our ladies and gentlemen. It's showtime now with Olivia Millan, and so we're gonna present the more unique vocal stylings of Olivia Millan, this beautiful young artist, singer, songwriter. I have a first song coming up. TTYL,
L.
right, TTYL. Talk to you later. That's right. All right, let's go for it and have a blazing and amazing time listening to this song, TTYL.
So far from what I planned to be, I thought I see a new me. Gotta let the thoughts through, gotta set them free. See what I feel to you and from me. Oh, oh, you can't take it and now it's gonna blow, blow. Cause you don't have a clue, yeah, you don't know. Oh, I know you can't handle this natural flow. Oh, cause in the dark I glow. 諦めることはできるけど私は諦めない。嘘つきにはなりたくない。Pass you in the halls, don't know you at all. Hanging up the call, talk to you later. Now I leave you on red and I pretend like you're dead. Hope you heard me when I said talk to you later. Take another second, I'll be busy, be away. Now that I've gotten to know you, I can get away. 私は自由だ、自由だ。知らない where or when. 友達 we friends. Just kidding, play pretend. When I'm at my limit, yeah, I know we at the end. Cause my gully, I don't have another second end. I hate to drag you on, cause what's the point if it won't end? I look into the future, yeah, I see it with my third eye. You won't be mine, cause I know I got plenty of other fish in the sea. I think you should be lucky. You don't know what you have, gonna be moved to my own groove, yeah. 諦めることはできるけど私は諦めない。嘘つきにはなりたくない。Pass you in the halls, don't know you at all. Hanging up the call, talk to you later. Now I leave you on red and I pretend like you're dead. Hope you heard me when I said talk to you later. 諦めることはできるけど私は諦めない。嘘つきにはなりたくない。
Bravo, bravo. Yes, what a very entertaining song. Continuing the original songs of vocal stylings of Olivia Millan. And the next song is a music video. And you're going to find it, I'm sure you're going to find it fabulous. Be With Me. So have a just spectacular, amazing, blazing, and a wonderful time. And kick back and relax and enjoy.
嬉しいよかったよ心配しないでくださいドキドキしましょう好きすぎる Just be mine I don't wanna be alone Nothing you're here next to me my dear You make my life like a dream 夢の方がいいでしょそうですね We are one in the same あなたが好きあなたが好き私にとって星のような人歌を歌いましょうリラックス Enjoy the show Kick your feet up 嬉しい愛してる Be with me 歌を歌いましょうリラックス Enjoy the show Kick your feet up 嬉しい
Bravo, bravo. Yes, be with me. Boy, that was great. That was really some. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my guest, Olivia Milllin, for being such a delightful, entertaining, and fun and inspirational guest. The time has gone by fast. I really enjoyed having you on as a guest, Olivia Milllin.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for your time as well.
Anyway, I always say to all as we get ready to close the show and wrap it up, I always say to all my fans and friends, always keep a smile on your face and a song in your heart. And until next time, happy trails and blaze out.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to be a guest on an entertainment talk show, please send us an email at amazingoriginaljbshow@gmail.com. All of our episodes will appear on YouTube and Facebook and receive over 3,000 views. Don't forget to sign up for our YouTube channel, and every guest will receive a complimentary DVD of their appearance on the show. Remember, we are much better than a podcast. And now, the amazing, original Johnny Blaze has just left the building. Good night. God bless.